as you can see here on this dot, the dot indicates that the recording is going on. So first I am going to show you how to move the files from the guest to host or from the host to the guest. What you need? You need a file transfer software. WinSCP is a beautiful file transfer software. Similarly, FileZilla. So I am going to click on FileZilla and I am going to download the FileZilla client on the host, not on the guest. So I am going to download FileZilla client. Never download FileZilla server. So click on the client and Mac OS automatically it will ask you. If it is Windows, it will tell you it is Windows. And click on the client, and I don't want any of these things. I want only this particular free version. Okay, and I'm going to click on download. So the download is started and it should be very, very fast. Once the download is completed, the DMG file will be available, and you just double click that DMG file and run that FileZilla. So FileZilla is already installed. To make sure that it is available to everybody, move that FileZilla to applications folder by dragging it. It will ask you, once you move, it will be available to everybody. And how will you know that it is available to everybody? Just click on this and type FileZilla. Automatically it is indexed now. That's the beauty of Mac. Immediately it is available, and press enter. You will open FileZilla. Click on open. FileZilla is opened, and now I am going to connect to the virtual machine. But before I am connecting to the virtual machine, what should I do? I should start the virtual machine because my virtual machine is powered off. So I am going to start the virtual machine. So as usual, give some time and to start that virtual machine. Okay, depending upon the speed of your computer, it will start the virtual machine and you will get an IP for your virtual machine. Consider this virtual machine as a separate computer. A computer running on a computer. That's it. That's the best way to understand it. If you cannot visualize it, just assume that near this computer there is another computer. Right? That's what you should do. So you are starting the virtual machine and the virtual machine will have an IP. You will ask me how the virtual machine got an IP. It is because when you install the virtual machine, network adapter you selected as bridged. Bridged means that it will have its own IP. That is why you are getting an IP address. Remember, your host will have an IP and your guest will have an IP. By the IP, you can move the data from here to here or from here to here using FileZilla. And that's what we are going to do. So once it is started, and as you can see, please observe what is the operating system. It is CentOS. CentOS is very similar to Red Hat. That's why you are getting that message, CentOS, on the right hand side. Okay, so leave it as starting. And if you are curious, what you can do is that you can just go to the third button and you can just look here whether an IP is available or not. If the IP is available, it will show you, and it has not yet got an IP. So we have to wait till it is starting. Okay, and then you will be getting an IP. You have to make sure that you are getting an IP, and you will not get an IP if you have not connected to network or wireless on your host. When you go home, when you connect to your home network, automatically the IP will get changed. Remember that IP is dynamic, which means that whenever you are going from one location to another location, IP will get changed. Okay, so the Cloudera virtual machine is now starting. You should get that Cloudera based background and you should see a home screen, which means that your machine is working. And now if you look at that, you see the IP, the third icon, a small computer icon. The third icon on the right hand side will give you the IP. Now, sometimes you will not see that. How will you see the IP? Open the terminal, and I want you to make sure that you are making the terminal a little bit bigger so that everybody can read it. How will you do that? Go to Edit, Profile Preferences, and select this, unselect this, and select that monospace. Come down, make it as 22, and then click OK. And then let's change the color, and I'm going to make the text color as white. And how will you get white? 255 and 255 is your beautiful white, and background color I am going to make it as black, and for black or blue, let us make it as blue. So you can just turn the arrow and make it as bright blue or whatever blue color that you like. All right, and then click OK. Oh, the change color has to be changed to blue. Oh, here it is red, green and blue. So make this one as 0 and this one as 0 and make blue as 255. So you will get the beautiful blue color. Okay, and then click on OK and you got your screen. So it is big, it is nice, it is very easy to see. The first command is that ifconfig, which will give you the IP number, and the IP number of your machine is 10.1.10.85. Remember, this is for this class. As long as you are coming to this office, this will be your IP. When you are going to your home, it will be a different IP. So you have to make sure, depending upon the connectivity, what is your IP. Hope you are all following me and you all got an IP. If you didn't get an IP, that means you have not connected to internet and your settings are wrong. Whenever you are setting the virtual machine, you have to make sure that the settings are absolutely right. So 10.1.10.85, and I am going to copy that. How will you copy? You cannot press Ctrl C, Ctrl V in this terminal. Right click and then click on copy. Remember that in the virtual machine settings you kept bidirectional. That means I can take this and I can paste it onto my Mac host. You cannot do that if you have not selected bidirectional. So again, if you are not able to copy, again your settings are wrong. Go to FileZilla, and what I am going to type here is SFTP. SFTP stands for Secure File Transfer, SFTP. And then I am going to paste that particular IP. See, Control V. How it got pasted? Because I selected bidirectional. And you have to remember throughout the course and throughout your life of Cloudera that Cloudera's username is Cloudera and the password is also Cloudera. You have to remember this. So SFTP : the IP number that you got, Cloudera. You have to remember this. Why? Please look at that username. I am going to type there Cloudera. So Cloudera, and I am going to type the password Cloudera, and I am going to click on Quick Connect. It is going to ask you whether you trust or not, as you can see. And do not save the passwords. Click OK. And it is asking you whether you trust or not, and click OK. Voila, you got the right hand side. The right hand side is your virtual machine. The left hand side is your Mac. You move the files from here to here, or you move the file from here to here. And why I told you all these things, every day whatever you are doing to practice is on the virtual machine. And if you create a folder with a date and you are storing all your programs, make sure at the end of the day or in the home, you are copying the data from here to here, because your virtual machine can get corrupted at any point in time. At the time your virtual machine is getting corrupted, if you have not created the backup, all your programs are lost. Okay? So I am not responsible for that. You will have to make sure that you have to copy all the files from here to here in order to make sure that you are not losing anything. Why? If virtual machine is lost, it is very easy. Just to delete it and then download the new virtual machine, import it, you get a fresh virtual machine. But your programs are all lost. So how will you copy the programs? Because you created a backup here, you will be moving all the programs to the right side. Any questions so far? Clear?
How did you say the bidirectional? Where was that?
In the settings, you will have to set it again. Go to the virtual machine. Whenever you are running, you cannot set the settings. Right click and there is settings. And in the settings, please look at this. In the advanced, in the first tab, bidirectional. That is the place where you will be selecting bidirectional. Okay? Alright, your virtual machine is started, your FTP is done, everything is done. Now we are going to write our MapReduce program. For creating the MapReduce program, now you have to follow the instructions. Everything is getting downloaded and recorded. Please listen to this and keeping this, try to do in the home, and on Thursday we will be doing it in the class as well. So you just listen what I am doing. First of all, this virtual machine is coming up with Java language. in any language, if you type mostly that language name and a command called minus version, it will tell you what is the version of Java. For example, if suppose you want to know what is the version of Hadoop, you just type Hadoop version. Okay, sometimes minus version, sometimes minus version, sometimes just version. But you just try. When you get a message, command not found, I told you, common sense. Okay, without that, don't sit in the class. When you are getting command not found or the first message, no command named minus version was found, it is English. It is telling you that you have typed wrong. So you have to try. So Hadoop version is working. It is giving me, it is a Cloudera Hadoop version and we are using the version 2.6.0. That is very clear now. If somebody is asking you what is a Hadoop version, that's what you need to do. Any company, any environment, Hortonworks, Cloudera, MapR, Pivotal, any Hadoop implementation, it will tell you. The word CDH means that it is Cloudera distribution of Hadoop, CDH. If it is HDP, you will get Hortonworks Data Platform, HDP. Otherwise MapR, otherwise Pivotal, like that. Now, that's not my aim here. A clear will clear the screen, which is a Unix command. And now if you type Java minus version, okay, and if you look at that, you know the first fundamental thing that you need to know is that the Cloudera virtual machine comes up by default with Java 1.7. In the course, we will be doing something related with the Java 1.8. At the time, we will be installing Java 1.8 and it's temporarily changing this to 1.8, not permanently. Why I am not changing permanently? It is because if I change permanently, then all the programs that are coming in Cloudera Hadoop, I will have to change accordingly. So I don't want to change the fundamental version of virtual machine into 1.8. Okay. Now, to know what are the processes that are running, there is another beautiful command given by Java that's called JPS, Java processes, but you won't get any output. Why JPS? Why? Because for running JPS, you need to be a super user. And for super user, you should always type sudo, S-U-D-O or sudo. Sudo means super user command. And type JPS, press enter, and you should be getting most of these things in your mind now. What is a resource manager, you know? What's a name node, you know? Secondary name node, you know? Date node, you know? Node manager, you know? And that's what the fundamental idea of Hadoop is all about. In Hadoop, all the data is distributed into name nodes and data nodes. And I already told you that whenever you are doing a computation on Hadoop, that computation is managed by job tracker and task tracker. But in the later versions of Hadoop, job tracker changed to resource manager and node manager, right? That's what we have seen. Now, having seen all these things and everything is running, and you look at all the other processes, these are all part of the Cloudera distribution of Hadoop. We don't need to know all those things, but you will know it at the end of the course. Anyway, come back, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my program. But before writing the program, you need to know what Java is. To understand what Java is a programming language, as I had already told you. Okay, but before going to Java, let's do something. Okay, what we are going to do is that we are going to make some coffee. And I am going to create a special syntax for making coffee. Anything that I am going to do, I am going to write in between a curly brace. And then I am going to write that, okay, I need coffee powder. Okay, and assume that we are using a microwave oven to heat the coffee, right? And then we are going to apply the sugar and the necessary water needed for it, and we are going to make a coffee. So, what I am going to do is that I am going to get a coffee powder, and the way I am going to get coffee powder is coffee powder C equal to new coffee powder. Okay, the meaning in practical language is that you are opening a coffee powder packet. That's what you are doing by this line. In Java, you cannot tell that open the coffee packet. But in Java, you will tell that open the coffee powder by bringing a new coffee powder packet. Okay, you have done that. Next, I am going to tell that, okay, I have got a GE oven and GE equal to new GE oven, which means that my oven is ready. And I am going to take a cup C equal to new cup, and I got a cup ready. And then I am going to write that C dot add. I already called this coffee powder. Okay, this is not C, and this C will conflict. So I am going to call this as coffee instead of C. So C dot add, cup dot add. Cup C is cup, and in cup I am going to add the coffee. So I did the coffee also. And now I am going to write C dot add milk. Milk is freely available, so I am not creating a new milk. And now I am going to tell that, okay, all these things add it into G dot add the cup C, because C is already having coffee and milk. And once it is prepared, I am telling that the coffee is ready. And I am going to tell all this process as class coffee process. So my class coffee process is containing so many lines in which I am creating the instances. And all these are called classes. And this is the fundamental of Java programming language. In Java, everything is a class. You will deal with so many classes together. You will write like English novel, and you will encapsulate everything that you write inside this particular curly brackets, and you will give a class name. But now there is a problem. I have to bring this coffee powder. If it is an Indian coffee, I have to go to Patel and bring it. Otherwise, I have to go to Costco or Publix, and then I have to buy it. And a GE oven, of course, is available from the GE shop. So what I want to do is, I want to import the Patel's coffee powder, and I want to import the GE oven from, let's say, a furniture shop or a Best Buy .G shop. If I am not importing this coffee powder and G shop, I cannot even imagine my house will have coffee and the oven available, right? These are called packages which are imported into Java. This is the class, and inside the class so many other classes are there, and these are all called objects. And object-oriented programming is nothing but a collaboration of classes and objects. This is the fundamental of Java. You create all these classes, and wherever you do not find a class, you will import that corresponding class from that particular package. So to show you all these things practically, what I am going to do is I am going to write vi demo.java. So I am going to create a particular file now. Instead of writing it on the board, I am going to write it on demo.java. And in vi demo.java, I am going to write a class, and this class is going to be used by everybody. And this is a VI editor. Please search in Google how to use VI editor. This is beyond the course. How to use VI editor. You have to press I, which will show you insert, and then you have to start typing. So, public class. I am creating a class. And I am going to call this class as demo. And this is another trick. In Java, the name of the file, demo.java, is the name of the class. You cannot give this particular class a name ABC and save it as demo.java. If your program name is demo.java, make sure that the class is also, the public class is also named the same. In Scala that is not there, but in Java, the name of the class must be the name of your file. So, public class demo, and inside this demo, since this is your first program, I am going to wish you system.out.println in bracket hello, welcome to Hadoop class. System.out.println, you should not have any doubt. System.out.println. System is the class like cup. Out is another class within that class. And that class is containing a method called a print line. A pure object-oriented line. And now these things cannot work unless I have the entry point, which is a function. We didn't write that one. Coffee making is the function. So I am going to write a function here. Public static void main. You have to by heart this line. String argus, without which any Java program cannot exist. If you want to run a Java program, it should have main. And the brackets should match. See, the main is encapsulated in a curly bracket and the class is encapsulated in curly bracket. The number of starting brackets is equal to the number of finishing brackets. You have written that particular program, and then you are going to write escape, shift, reset, set, and then javac. What is this javac? Because Java, demo.java is written in English, and English is not normally understood by machines. So machine will understand something called a bytecode. You want to convert the demo.java into bytecode, which is a class file. You will type java demo.java as the name of your program. And when you press enter, if there are no errors, you will get the prompt back. That means the class file is created. How will you make sure that the class file is created? ls. And you will see your java demo.java and demo.class is automatically created. And you will see Greek and Latin if suppose you open the demo.class. This is the bytecode. And now the bytecode is available. What you are going to do is that you are going to write java demo, which is now executing the program. You want to see the output. What the program should do? If everything is okay, it should print the message. Hello, welcome to Hadoop class, which is what I wanted to do. Okay. Now I want to print the date also when I am wishing you. So please look at the change that I am going to do. vi demo.java, and if I am writing system.out.println Hadoop class plus, I didn't press the insert key, that is why it is not allowing me to write it. So press I, it will go to insert mode, and then I am going to write new date. Date in Java will give you current date and time. I am definitely going to get an error if I write this line. Can you tell me why that error will come? Javac demo.java. Again, I have to compile it because I made the changes into this one, and you got the beautiful error message. Again, this is the point from which you are going to apply your common sense. And that error message is telling you date is not defined. Why? If I want to use GO, and I told you I should import it, that's what I wanted to show you, demo.java. And if suppose I look at this particular program, if I add the place from where, like oven, okay, you got this particular date class from a package called util, and I am telling that bring in that util class, the date. I am using that in my program. And if suppose I am going to write java demo.java, and if I write java demo, you will now get welcome to Hadoop class plus the current date and time as given in this virtual machine. Don't worry about 15.55 because that time is in PST. That's the fundamental of Java. So in Java, everybody will be writing a main program, and then you are going to write the class name, and inside the class name you are going to write. And now we are going to write the most famous word count, which is called as the hello world of Hadoop, which all of you executed manually inside the class word count. So can you tell me what will be the name of the program? Word count.java, because I am going to use that class. Inside that, I am going to write a mapper, I am going to write a reducer, and I am going to write a driver program or the main program. Any MapReduce implementation in the whole world will have this structure. It will contain a mapper, a reducer, as well as a driver program. Inside the mapper, can you guess what you are going to write? What did you do when I gave you twinkle, twinkle, little star? You are going to tell that, read the line, take each word and emit the word comma 1, word comma 1, word comma 1. You will write it in the mapper. In the reducer, what are you going to do? The reducer is going to get the word and all the occurrences of that word. What did the reducer did yesterday or in the last class? Counted all that and sum it. That logic you are going to write inside the reducer. You will ask me how the mapper will give the data to the reducer. I told you there is a magical person in Hadoop. Don't ask me about that. Who is that? The shuffle and sort. Shuffle and sort will automatically take what is coming from map and will give it to the reducer. And in the driver, you will write the main program. Just now I taught you that in Java, without the main, nothing can exist. So, writing a MapReduce application is nothing but writing a mapper, writing a reducer, and writing the driver program. And you are going to write what the mapper, what the reducer, and what the driver is going to do. In the mapper, you will write the specific logic of what individually you are doing. And remember, when you put this program into the cluster, thousands and thousands of machines will parallelly be executing the mapper reducer and will be giving you the aggregated result. And that's what we have seen practically, that when I gave you twinkle twinkle little star, not Suresh is executing once and Samiksha is executing once. It is everybody is executing all the time in parallel, and if something is failed, already you know name node knows where the copy is. It will go there and execute the same logic at the copy, so that there is ever never can be a failure. So, to write that particular program, what we are going to do is that I am going to give you some files. In the virtual machine, you have to go to foroursun.com, where we will be keeping all our materials, /passion, and press enter. You will see around hundreds and 200s of files, which you will be getting the complete copy as we teach and as we change each and every topic. That is when you will be getting it. Do not download it to everything one by one, everything. Only download what I say, right? Because I will be constantly changing these files. There is a file called dist distribution.zip. And I want you to click on the distribution.zip. Remember, you are doing all these things not on the host. You are doing it everything on the guest. And remember, if the guest is gone, your data is gone. And I already told you what you need to do to avoid that. So, click on the distribution.zip and click on save file. And please be familiar with this particular system. Why? Because this is a virtual machine. This is Linux. You should know where the downloads go and all. So, if you open the command prompt now, if suppose you are looking at the command prompt, and if you go to the downloads folder, you will see that distribution.zip is already there. What I am going to do is, I am going to create a directory for you to keep all your programs, okay? And let us call that particular directory as Passion Bytes, where we will be keeping all the directories. And how will you create a directory? mkdir Passion Bytes. And I created a directory called Passion Bytes in my home directory, right? If you want to know where you are, pwd home/cloudera, and you are going to go to the Passion Bytes directory, so you are inside the Passion Bytes directory. And I'm going to move that distribution.zip into Passion Bytes. If you don't want two layers, you can delete this particular Passion Bytes, and you can just use that distribution.zip in the home directory and unzip it, so that there will be only one layer available. I will show you how to do that. What you need to do, cp, and from the tilde is the home directory, downloads /distribution.zip, which is just downloaded. And I'm going to copy to dot is nothing but the local. Please be familiar with all Unix commands. You all know it very well. Now, unzip that particular distribution.zip, and you will see a directory called distribution is now created on the home directory. So, I don't want you to create a Passion Bytes and inside the Passion Bytes distribution. Now, we can change the name of this distribution directory. How? mv move distribution into Passion Bytes, so that you have moved that particular directory into a Passion Bytes directory. And now, if you are looking, you will see a Passion Bytes directory is created, and ls is all the directories are there. Concept 1, concept 2, concept 3, concept 4, everything you will learn in the coming days. Each of these directories are showing you magnificent ideas, the deeper knowledge of how the MapReduce is working and how the architecture is being created. Like what is a mapper, what is a reducer, what is a partitioner, what is a combiner. All the things will be explained by all these concepts, right? But to show you what is exactly MapReduce, and what we are going to do is that we are going to take concepts 1. And remember, this is my golden copy. I don't want to touch this golden copy. So what I will do always is that I will create a copy of concept 1 and I will work on that like a scrapbook, right? So mcp -r, why -r? Recursive, because concept 1 will have internal directory. So I am going to use cp -r concept 1 and I am going to create it into, let us say, my work directory work, okay, for example. So I created that directory work. Now if you look at ls, you will see work is created. I can do whatever I want. Why? Because even if I delete something by mistake, or even if I make something wrong, I have got my concepts 1 intact. So I got concept 1 work directory completely, right? And now I'm going to do something, and I will explain you why I am doing that a little bit later. So I am going to go to my home directory. I will go to the home directory in Unix. Shell scripting again. cd will take you to the home directory. So wherever you are, you can come to the home directory by typing in cd. So you are in the home directory now. I am going to create mkdir. I am going to create a directory called MapReduce reference or MapReduce lib. Let us call it as MapReduce lib. Okay. Can you guess why I am doing it? In the MapReduce, I am going to use so many classes like oven, coffee, powder, etc., etc., etc. I need to import it. But I can import it if the shop is containing it, right? If suppose I go to a shop to buy coffee powder, if the shop is not having coffee powder, how will I import it? So, I need to create a shop. That shop is containing all the jar files. What is this jar file? Zip files. What is zip? Java archive. Zip files means compressing all the classes that are needed for Hadoop into one archive, and I am going to keep it inside this MapReduce lib. So, my MapReduce lib is going to contain one jar file, second jar file, third jar file, fourth jar file, some hundreds of jar files given by Hadoop. Then in my program, I am going to use import statements like coffee powder and G oven, and those import statements will get the definition of those classes from that shop, that archive. Clear? So we are going to create an archive of all jar files, and I will refer my program to refer to that jar file when you want a coffee powder, when you want a tea. That is how Java programming is architected. So I am going to go to MapReduce lib, and I am going to write a command to bring all the jar files. Now you will ask me, where are these jar files? These jar files are available in various places in the virtual machine itself. So I have to search. How will I search? Go to the MapReduce lib directory. So remember, I am in MapReduce lib directory where I want to keep all my jar files. Find from the user/lib directory. I know that in user/lib everything is available in Cloudera. Find out all the files which is having an extension of jar. Execute SCP command on all that files, bringing into the current directory by separating it by a comma. Magic of shell scripting. With one line, I am searching the entire machine, all the jar files which are at different places, bringing everything together into one single place. Let us see the syntax, okay? I'm not sure whether the command is correct or not. Yeah, it is not correct. So, what you need to do, okay? These are all, never remember, just recursively, okay? Recursively copy jar files, Unix, and press enter. Okay, how to iteratively copy jar files, and just come down and you will see, find minus name star jar except cp. What was the wrong thing in my command?
Pipe was missing.
Cp and find minus I name star dot jar except cp path to directory and the semicolon. Okay, minus exec cp minus exec and cp. Yeah, so I think almost we were there. Okay, maybe some small mistake. Let's find out what it is. Use a minus I name star dot jar minus exec cp. Is it because of the semicolon? That is just a semicolon. Oh, it should not be separated by comma. You know what is going on now? It is now searching the entire machine. Okay, some of you told that you know very well shell scripts. This is what you should do. Okay, so this is how you will be copying all the files from one particular directory recursively and then creating your reference. I want you to do it once. Why? After doing it once, please copy it to your local, so that if the virtual machine is getting corrupted tomorrow, you can just move it. Okay, it will take good amount of time. Why? Because it is searching the entire world of that virtual machine and finding out recursively all the jar files, and then it is bringing it to that particular folder, so that this becomes my golden reference library for any of my MapReduce programs starting from today until end. See, because he has got the latest one, it has completed. And do you want to do an LS now? That's what I told you. I don't need anything else. This is my golden library. And I created that MapReduce library now. And once that MapReduce library is created, you can come out. How will you come out? CD, home directory. And where were you? Where is your program? CD, Passion Bytes, caps lock. Never type anything fully in Unix. Tab. After typing the first few letters, just tab. Do not type pass and bytes spelling mistake, and you will not get the output at all. So inside the Passion Bytes, I am going to go to work. And now let me introduce the next technology, the first new technology that you are going to learn. How will you build Java programs? I don't want to write Java C. I don't want to write Java. I don't want to write the command for executing the program. I want to automate everything. And throughout the course, you are going to study 3 automation scripts. One is called Ant, second is called Maven, and the third is called SBT. SBT is used for Scala. Maven and Ant are very widely used. Wherever Ant is used, you will see a file called build.xml. Wherever Maven is used, you will see a file called pom.xml. Wherever SBT is used, you will see a file called build.sbt. And in this particular example, if you look at the directory, what are you seeing? You are seeing build.xml, which means that I am going to use Ant. Now let me show you what that Ant will do. In the build.xml, okay, I have written all the scripts that are needed, okay. It is like, packaging food for your child when they are going to school. Everything you will package in a nice, beautiful way so that she or he doesn't have any facility or any difficulty in taking each thing and eating it, right? In the similar way, in build, you will write your Java C, Java, run the program, this, that, everything, and you will encapsulate it, and outside you will write and dash, and this, and this. It will automatically execute. So if you look inside the build.xml, you will see all these things. Hadoop examples, build file. Project name, give whatever name you want. And look at that reference, base directory /lib, which is wrong. Why it is wrong? Because that distribution.cp is coming from my computer. But in our computer, in the virtual machine, what did you do? You created the reference as MapReduce lib. So you have to change it. Can you tell me where did you keep that MapReduce library? You are going to delete this line, and I am going to write your directory is /home /Cloudera /home/Cloudera /MapReduce lib. This is the directory that is going to be your this thing. How will you know? If you have any doubts, just open another terminal and then go to cd MapReduce lib and then type a pwd. You will get that particular path, home/Cloudera /MapReduce lib. That is my reference library. And I told you from the beginning that the reference is needed in my programs to go to that shop and get that coffee powder or the G oven, whatever I need to. Now, if you are taking that home/Cloudera /MapReduce, again, there is a mistake, okay? Whenever I type a mistake, please feel free to tell it. Don't wait for making errors. So, home/Cloudera /MapReduce lib, that is the directory. There is one more place you will see if you are coming down. You see Are you able to read that? Java C. So that means I am compiling the program. And then you will see create a jar file. And I am going to call that jar file as myhadoop.jar. That's why I told you. Every complex steps I have encapsulated. This is same as writing a script or a shell script for some 10 to 20 tasks. You will always do it in a company, right? If you want to execute some PLSQL procedures, 20, what you will do? You will write a shell script. Similarly for ab initio as well. And you see here, it has got a zip. It will zip every day whatever work you are doing. You can easily create this particular task and create the zip file and move it to your local file system so that every day work is being saved. All the facilities are there. And then there is a run also. We are not going to use run. So I am going to delete this particular run. Okay. We are not going to use it. So dd will be deleting the line. Don't delete unnecessarily because every target element will have an end target element. Target. This project, because the beginning is a project. Every element in XML will have a corresponding end tag. Now, please look at the things that I am going to do. Okay. I am going to delete all the directories because all these directories are coming from my computer. I don't want that because distribution.zip is coming from my computer. So, test. I deleted everything. Except, please don't delete source. Source is the code. And you can delete that attic also. We don't need it. Look at ls. This text file is also not needed, but since it is a text file, I am not deleting it. Source, build.xml. That's the only thing that you need for starting your program. And now, the work to create a program. Go to cdsrc, cdcom. It is always nice to create a package for you. Just like GE oven, like coffee powder. What did I write? GE oven. Import homedepot.ge oven. Right? So we will write com.passion.cd. Okay. Ravi. I just gave my name. And your word count is there. I am deleting all these unnecessary files. rm, cat.java and GPU access.txt. Everything I am deleting. Why? And then I am looking at this word count.java. Our program is available here. Clear. vi word count.java. Oh, what is this? Import. What is it? You already know what it is. Coffee powder, GE oven, everything. From where it is bringing all these things? Because you referenced it too. That's why we did all those things. If you did not do this and you write this, what is the error that you are going to get? Class not found. So what does that mean? You didn't use the references correctly. So throughout the course, whenever you are getting class not found, what does that mean? You didn't link it correctly. So you got this. And why did I told you when I wrote the demo.java? Since our file name is wordcount.java, our class is also wordcount.java. Right. And inside the word count, what you will be doing? You will be creating a mapper. And inside the mapper, forget about all the comments. The mapper is going to take a key and value and it is going to read the line using string tokenizer in Java. I will explain you all these things as we are going on. It is going to take the first line and it is going to write word, comma, 1. That is the most important line there. Twinkle, comma, 1, jingle, comma, 1, little, comma, 1, star, comma, 1. Everybody started writing that word, comma, 1. And can you guess what did I do in the next step, which is a reducer class? Look at this, reducer. In the reducer, we are taking that value and what did you do? All the values, you are just going to add it. This is the school mathematics. Declare a variable called sum and add all the values. Okay, mapper over, reducer over. What is the final step? What is the final step in Java? You can't write anything without main. That is called the driver program. The driver. And inside the driver, you will be telling what is the name of your program, etc., etc., etc. Let me delete this. This is not needed now. Set mapper class, reducer class. What is your mapper, reducer, everything you will be telling inside your code. Clear? Almost, not everything, but overall, correct? Mapper, reducer, as well as the driver. And in the mapper, what did you do? You read the line and then take each word, word comma 1, word comma 1, word comma 1. Reducer, take against a word, whatever values are there, sum it. Correct? Did you write anything for shuffle and sort? No. Why? That is handled by Hadoop. Okay. Come out. Go to the place where your build.xml is there. Where is your build.xml? When you do ls, you should see build.xml. And what is the only command that I need to type now? And press enter. All encapsulated, all complexities. It is going to compile and it is going to create, and it created the jar file for me without writing any command. Why? Because I already wrote all that complex processes inside the build.xml. So what did I get? My Hadoop.jar. My Hadoop.jar is again a Java archive. And I already told you a Java archive is a combination of many classes. And whose class is there inside that Hadoop.jar? Word count is there. Right. Now what I am going to do? We are going to do the word count. How will you do the word count? You have to create a file, correct? What is a file? That is why I gave you the GPU access.txt. But GPU access.txt is in HDFS or in local. It is on local. I told you clearly what is the difference between HDFS and local. It is a Unix file system, local. What did I do? What do I need to do? I need to write a Hadoop command now, a shell command. How will you do that? Hadoop fs minus mkdir. Today's date is April 2. What it will create? It will create a Hadoop directory. And then Hadoop fs minus put GPU access.txt, which is my local file, to April 2. What it will do? The name node will take the data, divide it into blocks, and will put it into the Hadoop file system. Now the data is where? In the Hadoop file system. And what is the directory in which the data is there? April 2. And where is my jar file? cd dist ls. Remember just now you saw no? And created the jar file. Where did and create the jar file? In the dist directory. You have to be very careful. And now what I am going to do? Hadoop jar. My Hadoop.jar. What is the name of the class? com.ravi.word count. You should not ask from where that word Ravi came and all. Remember com, Ravi, that was the folder name. And what is the input file? April 2 contains the input file. And I am going to create April 2 out as my output file. So it is my program now. It is taking my input file now. It is running my jar file now, which consists of mapper, reducer and driver. And now we are going to create the output into April 2 out. Can that directory exist? No, you cannot overwrite it. So press enter and cross the fingers. That's the first program. If everything is okay, map will start, reducer will start, everything will start. And you will see, map started. That means no problem in the code. Then reducer started. What it is doing? Whatever you did in the last classes by manually. Why did it manually do? Because I wrote it in my mapper class. I wrote it in my reducer class. What to do? Right? So now interestingly, April 2 out will contain what? The word count. How will you see the word count output? This is why I told you to practice the Hadoop shell commands. Hadoop fs minus cat April 2 out / part star. Correct? All you remember, right? Part 00000. And then press enter. Wow. You got the word count of that big file. It is not a twinkle twinkle little star file. It is a very big file. But please look, this is containing the words like, war, terror, etc., etc., etc. It is because that particular file is nothing but George Bush's speech in 2011, and a word count indicated that war, terrorism, and all these things are coming lot many times, which indicates that in 2001, that particular topic in the whole world was that. You did an analysis now by a word count. So you got the data, you run a word count, and just by looking at the word count, you understood what was the main topic at that particular time. This is the end-to-end analysis of big data. So if suppose I am getting all the news feeds of entire world, and if I am writing a MapReduce program on 4,000 nodes, and if I am able to create the trending topics, I created my application. That's what Twitter is doing, that's what Facebook is doing, and that is what you are getting the messages like what is trending, what is not trending, etc., etc. It is fully recorded, every step with my voice. So